I want to introduce to you, out of Washington, D.C., a person who influenced me, who inspired me. When I first saw him in 2008, he didn't see me. I was in the crowd. His name is Lamount Carey, one of the biggest poets I've ever come across in the U.S. Let's welcome Lamount Carey, out of Washington, D.C.
So yeah, I'm all the way from Washington, D.C. And it's such a pleasure to be here. So I'm gonna tell you a little bit about me, because I believe my story is similar to a lot of you. At the age of 11, I started selling drugs. And I started selling drugs not because my mother didn't have food in the cabinets. I started selling drugs because I wanted to get out of my community. And the reason that I wanted to get out is that my father used to beat my mother. And so my mother became an alcoholic, and I lost respect for both of them. The first person, when I was 9 years old, I had decided the first person that I was gonna kill was gonna be my father, because he put his hands on my mother. But I also lost respect for my mother because I didn't understand how that she will continually allow this dude back into her bedroom after he mistreated her. So I decided that I wanted to get away. And the only way for me to get away, I couldn't get a job, I was too young. And so the only people in my community that will reach out to me, that will help me to become something, was drug dealers. They made me feel like I was their equal. But before they made me feel like I was their equal, I used to be one of them little dudes that because I used to fight all the time in school. And so they used to say, Shorty a gangster, Shorty tough, Shorty ain't let nobody get over on them. And so that made me feel like I was equal to them. And so every time that somebody made them mad or about anything, the first person they would come to, they would say me. They would tell me, man, this little dude around the block, he disrespecting us. This little dude said this, he said that. Because I thought I was a man just like them, I'd go around there and put my hands on them. So then they started making me feel like I was more connected to them. They introduced me to drugs. They started picking me up from school. They started taking me shopping, things that my family couldn't do for me. And then they started getting me to hold the drugs. And then one time it was like, when a customer comes and they got $20, they got this $50, they got $10, this is how much you give them. And so when I made that first sale, and when he came back and I was proud to give him the money, he gave me half of the money. So I'm a little kid that don't have a job, and somebody's giving me some money. So every time that I came outside, I positioned myself close to them because I knew that they would call on me to do something. And so before long, I was selling drugs. And then they started telling me that I have to protect myself from the robbers, the addicts that's gonna try to steal from me. And so they gave me the gun. And then they started paying me to do things with the gun. And so with that, even though I was feeling like I was a man just like they were, but what it all turned out to be that I was just a flunk. So by the time when I turned 16 years old, I was charged as an adult. My beginning of the stacks of my charges was murder. I had 2 murder beefs. In Washington, D.C., you have this county called Maryland, and you have D.C. So in Maryland, I had 2 bodies. In D.C., I had an attempt. So long story short, they decided that because of the nature of my crimes, that they couldn't send me to no juvenile facility. So at 16, they sent me to the adult facility. I ended up beating the 2 murders, but I ended up taking the cop to the attempted murder. So now I'm 16 years old, sitting in an adult institution, and my first thought was that I was gonna prove that I was a man. And I was gonna prove that by the first dude that said something wrong to me in the penitentiary, I was gonna try to punish him in the worst way that I could possibly punish him, right? Because I was taught that this is how you establish your respect in the penitentiary. And so one of the first things I got when I came in the penitentiary that my goal was to do was to establish, just because I'm small, just because I'm young, you ain't gonna get out on me. So I had that attitude. So all of the attitudes, everything that I learned that was supposed to make me a man, after a while, after I had like 3 years in, it finally clicked on that stuff that they saying was made me a man was some garbage. Because those same dudes that I would have killed and died for, they ain't never come to them daggone gates to give me no daggone visit. They ain't never set my cause when I called. I used to write them dudes letters, and they never wrote me back, not one time. And all I would have been happy with if they took a blank envelope, wrote their name on the damn envelope, and put it in the mailbox and sent it to me. Because I would at least have known that even though no letter wasn't inside that envelope, that they was thinking about me. So what that proved to me is that this whole lifestyle of this is what makes me a man, getting this money this way was some crap. Because they wasn't there for me. And so, because I had grown up in the streets, all I had known was the streets, so I never knew who the hell Lamount Carey was. I had the nickname and all that, but I knew, this is what's crazy, I knew what the nickname, I knew the nickname's favorite colors, I knew what the nickname loved to do, but I did not know what my mother's son loved to do. And so, I decided, once I realized that what this lifestyle that I had been living really did not exist. It couldn't have existed because I was loyal, I was committed, I was devoted, but wasn't nobody doing that same thing for me. And I'm sure that many of you can relate to this situation because a lot of the dudes that you ran around with, I can guarantee you for majority of you, they ain't around. Majority of them ain't looking out for your family. Majority of them ain't taking care of your kids or none of that stuff. It's that stuff that we would be guaranteed if they was in the same position that they would do, man. So I've been living a lie. And if you can relate to my situation, I think it's time that you recognize something that we've been living a lie, man. So what I had to do when I discovered that I had been living this damn lie, I didn't know anything else. So I had to rediscover me, man. So I had to learn that everything that they told me that made me a man, it kept putting me in a hole. In the streets, everything that they told me that made me a man, it put me in the penitentiary. So all of this need to show aggression or what defines us as a man, Slim, if it ain't adding happiness to your life, man, then it's sending you in the direction that you don't want to go. And this is the other thing. So it seems like society and the people around us make us believe that we can't do nothing, man. So when we can't do nothing, we have the mentality of just trying to survive. And in order to try to survive, we do whatever we believe that we need to do to survive. So that's how we make mistakes. I'm telling you, gentlemen, in prison, I was introduced to the arts. I didn't find God in the art. I didn't find God in the prison. I didn't become a Muslim. I didn't become a Christian. I didn't become none of that stuff because in prison, in the U.S., a lot of that stuff was like gang culture. A lot of guys became Christians or Muslim for the protection. And my goal in the beginning was to prove that I was a man. So when I decided to change who I was, I had to figure out what I was going to do when I come home. So I started going to school and I got the little high school diploma thing. And then I got challenged to write a book because I tried rapping and I couldn't rap. And the guy challenged me to write a book, so I wrote a book. And so my goal became when I came home that I was going to live this life as an artist. That I wasn't going to be trying to survive because all of us be feeling like we have to survive and we don't never live, man. So today, I can walk down the street, I can be participating in a crowd and somebody can break out a camera and I ain't gotta hide my face because I ain't worried about if the picture gonna get back to the police. I ain't gotta worry about if it's gonna get to an enemy that's gonna realize that I'm still alive and try to get at me. I have that fear no more. I don't worry about the police, I don't worry about nobody because I'm living for me. There are no limitations in my life but the ones that I believe exist. And so many people tell us, man, that we can't do this, that we can't do this. I'm in Trinidad. I'm a poor boy from the ghettos of Washington, D.C., man. How many of you seen that show, HBO The Wire? Show of hands. None of y'all seen that? So this is one of the most popular shows within the U.S. and now in the world. They contact me to appear on the show, 3 episodes. Then I started casting, putting people on that show. Then Russell Simmons, I don't know how many of y'all familiar with Russell Simmons. Russell Simmons called me and asked me to appear on his television show called HBO Deaf Poetry Jam. Then this other network we have called BET called me. And then I started creating my own films and doing my own plays. But if you ask somebody, that individuals that look just like us, come from where we come from, they'll tell you that that ain't possible for us. But we survived. We survived the streets, because all of you still here living. We survived the penitentiary because all of you still here living. So if you can survive in here, how in the hell that you don't know that you can get free and walk out them damn gates and still survive, Slim? Anything that you want to do, anything that you ever thought of, I guarantee you if you try it, you'll find your way. You'll be able to accomplish that. And as a prime example of that, this is one of the books that I wrote in prison. I came home, got it published. Now it's in schools. Now it's being sold all around the world. I came home and created a CD. Now it's being sold all over the internet, all over the world. So and this is the crazy part. I make a living off of telling our stories. That's what I do. Every mistake that I made in the past, because we lived through it, we know how to overcome those challenges. So now I'm able to go across the world and talk to people about how to overcome the challenges that you all have survived. So if you don't know what it is that you want to do with your life, you think you don't have no skills, you have a world worth of experiences. And I know people probably tell y'all got to change people that y'all hang around, y'all got to change the places that y'all be, and y'all got to change the things that y'all do. But some of us don't have that. Some of us don't have the opportunity to go to another community or another country because our families are poor. Our families are in the ghetto, so we have to return back to where we come from. But once you change your mind, once you change the way that you think, there is no more prisons. Even in prison, I was free because I was doing the things that I want, but I also knew that I had to do the things that was asked by the administration so it improved my chances of coming home. It didn't matter to me no more about making sure that you knew that I ain't going for nothing. Making sure that you knew that I'll put the knife in you. Oh, none of that stuff mattered to me no more because I became me. I became the person that I wanted to be, the guy that I wanted to be before I started firing that gun, before I started moving them keys. I became the guy that I wanted to be. And that freed me, man. So I'm telling you, whatever the hell it is that you want to do with your life, man, chances are you can begin here. I know some of you writers, some of you want to go home and be businessmen, and that was another thing that I learned in prison, that I actually knew how to run a business. My business just was illegal. So what I had to do, I had to change my product. Now I sell my voice. Now I sell my CDs. Now I sell my books. So all of us know, we know customer service. If you sold drugs, you know how to convince a person to buy it. We know how to market the drugs to get the word out about the drugs exist, right? So those are skills that you can turn, that you can flip to make it work for you as an individual, to make it work for you as a business. I'm telling you, gentlemen, if you go to the streets and haven't learned nothing from these experiences, if you go to the streets and you got this extra pip in your step or your chest poking out because you done been in the penitentiary and you be trying to prove that you have been in the penitentiary, Slim, this is the last stop before death if we go in that direction. But the whole damn world opens up for you if you choose to go in the right direction. I'm telling you, you already got the heart. You already got the smarts. You already know how to read an individual within the first 3 minutes. That's a skill that you can use on the streets to be legit, man. All of us know customer service. All of us ain't on gangster time all day long, because everybody that you wanted to punch in the mouth in here, you didn't. You weighed the risk, right? In the street, it's the same damn thing. You weigh the risk of what the potential outcomes can be, and as long as you take what is in the best interest of you, then you're gonna succeed. And the last thing I'm gonna say before I do a poem and get out y'all face is, don't put a whole lot of pressure on yourself. Don't put that pressure on yourself that you gotta go home and take care of your family. You gotta change the situation that they in. You gotta go home and supply all of this stuff for your kid that you can't supply. Because a lot of times that pushes us right back into the drug game. The patience that you learn in here is gonna really work for you when you get in the streets. Everything that you learn in here, how to cope, you can apply it to the streets, man, because this is a small replicate of the streets, man. So gentlemen, I guarantee you, if you try it, give yourself 6 months, man, of trying that thing that you really want to do. Not that just get a job or any kind of damn job. Me, I had to pursue what it is that I wanted to do with my life, because I couldn't go work on a construction site and be happy. My little ass ain't lifting no bricks, right? I'm not going in no carry out and flipping burgers and chicken and you cussing me out because the chicken ain't cooked the way that you want. I'm not putting myself in that position, right? So gentlemen, I'm telling you, if you follow that thing inside of you that you really want to do, I guarantee you will succeed in it. It's going to be some obstacles. Nothing is going to be easy, but you can overcome it. You overcame the streets. You overcome in the penitentiary. So what's out there is nothing compared to what you have been through and who you are. So I'm going to shut up and I'm going to do a poem and I'm going to get out y'all way.
You're going to do streets?
Oh,
yeah.
Too, bro. 8 years old, I sat on the steps of my project building with no shirt on and no shoes. 3 steps beneath me sat John, the old wino. He doesn't even know that I exist, but I can smell the liquor reeking from his flesh that he has drunk for the last 35 years. And up walks Greg the crackhead, and he stopped 3 inches from me and asked me, "You got $1? I'm only 8. I don't have no money. I hate this place. And more than I hate the place, I hate the people. And more than I hate the people, I hate the look in their eyes. 'Cause in their eyes I seen no hope. In their eyes I saw no shame. In their eyes I did not see a dream. I did not see tomorrow. They were comfortable being who they were, the crackhead and the wino. So I decided at 8 that I'm gonna do everything in my power to get away from them. And the only thing that glows on my block is Pretty Ricky. See, Pretty Ricky's the neighborhood drug dealer. And when I went to him, he let me in, you see. Drug dealers always need flunkies. So I held the guns and I held the drugs. And soon he let me sell. And by 9, I was fly. And by the time I was 15, Pretty Ricky was in jail. So the block is mine and I'm on my grind and I will kill over a drug deal. But just like any block that's getting money, other kids be wanting your block. So 3 kids came up with a scheme on how they can get my money. Gunshots echoed. Shot 1 3 times, he didn't die on me. But as they charged me from a juvenile to an adult, he was on the stand with his hand raised, ready to testify on me. He did it. He shot me. And he's supposed to be a killer. I hate this place. And more than I hate the place, I hate the people. And more than I hate the people, I hate the look in their eyes. You see, most would think I'm gonna be scared because I'm on my way to prison, but what they don't see that this is a badge of honor for me. See, those that went before me told me glory stories like, I used to have sex with female guards. I sold drugs. I used to stab dudes. So this was a badge of honor for me because I will return with stories. I hate this place, and more than I hate